Hey, what's up, DIYers? Mike Borders with the Mike Borders channel. Thank you for watching. We're talking jet skis, and specifically jet skis from the 1990s, two-stroke really. And in today's video, we're going to show you how to hook up a garden hose to your jet ski. And in today's video, we have a 1995 Sea-Doo XP. Let's get started. All right, DIYers, here we are at the workstation, and we just finished up a big project on my parents' 2003 Sea-Doo GTX, and that was we removed the engine completely from the hull, followed by transporting it to the engine overhaul facility where they had possession of the engine, which in our case, a 951 DI or direct injection engine, for about 10 days as they fully overhauled it. And after that, we went and picked it up, and we spent the time filming step-by-step videos on how to properly and safely reinstall a 951 DI engine back into my parents' jet ski. And if you've seen any of those videos, you know that jet ski sat right there on the trailer on top of that black visqueen mat on the floor. However, that project is complete. The jet ski is currently at the lake, and we are following the specific guidelines set forth by the engine overhaul facility on how to properly break in that engine. So again, that jet ski is at the lake. It will be back here shortly. However, in the meantime, on the bottom right corner, you can see a jet ski stand, and that is where my wife's 1995 Sea-Doo XP will sit as we make some pretty cool DIY videos for all of you, the DIY community. And that stand is pretty cool. Down below in the comment section, as well as the description section, will be a link on where to purchase a jet ski stand like that. However, let's hop to the workbench. Coming to the workbench, and we are always busy here, I promise you that. Boat repairs, jet ski repairs, and many more. Let's go to our exact flush kit, and we will also post a link down below in the comments and description on where to purchase this. This is an awesome kit, and in the event that you don't have that center three-way adapter, well, this kit allows you to have one and properly install it. You've got some clamps, you've got a rubber gasket that will actually go inside that portion of the hose, and then that portion of the hose will actually feed onto the connection inside here. However, in our case, we already have that three-way adapter installed, but I will show you really what you have to do in the event that you do not have one. Basically, a quick separation of the hose, or cut away a small section of the hose, followed by installing that adapter and securing the hoses on either side of that top portion to create that watertight seal. And then you can properly hook up a garden hose to your jet ski and run the jet ski while it's on the trailer in the driveway. And real quick, the package on the back side, I just wanted to show you this information, whether it will be helpful to you or not. And again, we are working on a 1995 Sea-Doo XP. Let's go and open it. Alright, DIYers, a quick reposition of the camera. I have unpackaged the entire flush kit. Here's the green hose, and this side of the green hose and fitting or connection point will be the side that connects to your garden hose, and this little rubber gasket will be placed inside that fitting and mate with the garden hose, creating that watertight seal. However, on the opposite end of the hose, I do want to show you this connection point and take note of the aluminum clip here. It is under spring-loaded tension as shown here, and that will be very important to know when connecting and disconnecting this portion to that fitting when it's installed inside the jet ski. In other words, you are going to push that clip inward, which again will open up that hole. See how it's not really 100% open? And now it is. Now it's not. You're going to push that spring-loaded tab in and create that perfect circle, which ultimately will allow you to insert this fitting without damaging the O-ring. And when it comes time to disconnect this from that fitting, you will do the same thing. You will compress this little tab in as you carefully pull it off the fitting. And again, if you don't do that, you will damage that fitting or rip the O-ring right off of it. In addition, while it was in the package, I had this little cap here, as shown here, but I did pull it off. And again, when this is installed inside the jet ski, you will have a rubber hose secured to either side of the top T portion and then clamped in place to create that watertight seal. Again, our jet ski already has this kit installed, but either way, I want to show you how you would go about installing this kit, as well as hooking the garden hose up to it and running your engine while the jet ski is out of the water and on the trailer. And DIYers, at this point, that's basically the 101 rundown of this flush kit out of its package. We can now head outside and take a look at the jet ski. However, taking a step back, and before we head out to the jet ski, I wanted to show you a closer view of the stand itself. And this is a very durable, strong, and pretty neat stand. All right, we are outside, and in front of us is my wife's 1995 Sea-Doo XP, and we'll take the cover off, take the seat off, and we'll show you what's inside. And here it is with the cover off, and I've got the jack stand basically in a way where it's got the nose slightly higher than the aft tail or rear portion of the jet ski. And we'll remove the seat. And I did just that. I've got the seat off, and I've also raised the front storage compartment, removed the front storage unit. And coming inside here, we've got our gas tank, and feeding inward our fuel lines and electrical system and more. And coming up out, DIYers, in the event that you ever run into a broken latch, definitely check out the link scrolling above. We'll show you how to replace your latch. We will also show you how to properly lubricate your latch. That will be down below in the comments and description. We're coming to the back portion. And inside the front portion, our battery, electrical system, exhaust, engine, plugs, airbox. And we are going to carefully remove this back unit here. Just carefully pull these out of the circular inserts and pull this up. Taking a step back, and I have fully removed that unit from the aft portion of the jet ski hull opening. And coming to just aft of the engine, there it is. There is our adapter that comes in that flush kit. And you can see on either side of the T portion of the plastic adapter is a rubber hose, and we have compression clamps or oyster clamps securing the hoses to the T fitting and creating that watertight seal. And again, as I mentioned, inside at the workbench, in the event that you do not have this installed, all you are going to do is cut a section away from this hose. And in our case, you can see only about a ½ inch tops was cut away from this hose, allowing the T-fitting to be placed in and secured with a hose on either side, as shown here again. And the top cap here, I'll pull that off. And there is the O-ring inside, and again, as you can see, it is in good condition and it's there. It's not dry rotted, it's not ripped or damaged in any way, and that's because we properly connect and disconnect our flush kit while performing this procedure. And long story short, our flush kit is kind of old, and we have replaced it with a brand new one shown at the very beginning of this video. And what I want to do now is actually show you the tool that you can purchase. We will also have that down below in the comments and description on how to cut the hose in a straight, clean, precise manner. And there it is. And yes, this is specifically for cutting PVC pipe. However, it works wonderfully in cutting hoses, again, in a clean and precise manner. And let me grab this little T-fitting here and show you how exactly it is positioned inside here. Again, the rib portion of the T is in either side of the hose, as shown here. And that rib design of the T-fitting helps this hose to grab a hold of the fitting and really create a watertight seal when applying the clamps. And in addition, it makes the hose have a significant difficulty in pulling off of the actual fitting. Taking a step back, I have grabbed the garden hose as well as this side of the hose and flush kit. I am ensuring that the red gasket is properly installed. And without cross-threading this, I'm going to screw this fitting onto the hose. And no need to over tighten it, but you do want it snug, again, to allow that gasket to create that watertight seal so it's not spraying out at this point and getting inside your engine hull. And at this point, this side again goes inside the hull and secures onto and locks in place onto the T-fitting with the O-ring. Camera is now positioned on the very top aft portion of the hull, and again referencing the hose, the T-fitting, and the base portion with the O-ring. I'm going to carefully lower the flush kit and green hose as well as this connection point, and again spring loaded, extremely important when installing this onto that fitting. Compress this in to create that circle to allow you to slide it on as straight and evenly as possible. And in our case, there is a tight fit in between the airbox and the top portion of the fitting. I would have liked to have this fitting facing up, basically at 12 o'clock, to make it easier to connect and disconnect this fitting, but that's what we have. And from here, again, just compressing that clip, I'm going to slide it on nice and evenly onto the fitting. And it's best to use both hands so I can actually support the opposite side and push back so I'm not pushing the hose and putting any stress on this portion. You want the fitting as far onto the T as possible. And that's it, DIYers. From here, I am going to start the engine and then turn the garden hose on. With this jet ski, you don't want to do it the opposite way. In other words, you don't want to turn your garden hose on and push water into the engine without the engine running. However, I do want to show you the configuration from a different angle. And again, we'll start the engine first, followed by turning on the hose. Alright DIYers, back behind the camera, and as you just saw, I went and turned off the water supply at the garden hose spigot, and I came back to the jet ski, allowed the engine to run for an additional 5 to 7 seconds, and I gave it a couple decent applications on the throttle, and after that I shut the engine down. Let's go check for leaks. And as you saw during the engine run, there was absolutely no leaks at this fitting here. So the old T fitting right here that has the old O-ring is still holding up, as well as the brand new connection point on this flush kit really locked in place, and again created that watertight seal on that rubber O-ring. And in addition, the red gasket inside this portion that secures to the garden hose really created that solid watertight seal, and there is no water on there, and that's what you want. In addition, during the video you were seeing me point to the exhaust and hose. Just try not to rest the hose on the exhaust, but the exhaust should not warm up too much because you're properly cooling the engine with the water. Got the camera positioned back on the top aft portion of the hull, and DIY is very important. Don't just tug that and yank it off that T-fitting. You'll end up damaging something. Again, don't do that. You've got the water hose, you've got a clamp on each side. This happens to be Whittaker or pressure clamps on either side of the T-fitting, and this is just a worm gear or standard clamp. And again, with this flush kit fitting here, you've got this tension tab, and you'll notice as I push it, you can see it right there, push out the opposite end. And simultaneously, as you push that tab in and pull up, grab a hold of this T-fitting here to not put any stress on the hoses, and just carefully pull it up. Followed by capping off the fitting as shown there. And I'll grab a paper towel and just clean up any water that dripped. Taking a step back and another close-up view of this side of the flush kit hose, and to this side again we'll just unscrew it. And when storing this, do not lose the rubber seal or gasket in there, because it falls out pretty easily. And real quick, you will notice a flat side here, and this side is more kind of tapered up and angled in. That will be on the top. In other words, the flat section will be facing in and mating with the innermost portion of the fitting, as shown here. Now to a different camera angle, DIYers. I spent a minute or two and I wiped up any drip water inside the hull. I also resecured the garden hose on the wall mount, and from here I'm going to carefully reinsert this housing. And you've got little plastic tabs, and you want to basically come in. I like to go to the far end first, and then this back portion will actually loop under the jet ski hull and seat as shown here. And then you just carefully lower this port side tension tab into its respective hole. And again, it's plastic, be careful. You don't want to break anything. From here, I'll re-secure the seat. All right, DIYers, I've got the seat re-secured, and that again is how you properly and safely and correctly hook up a garden hose to your early 90s or mid 90s Sea-Doo jet ski. Again, in our case, an XP model, 1995. And DIYers, from here we are now going to film a video on transitioning this 95 XP jet ski from this trailer onto that stand that we showed you inside earlier in the video. And again, that will be down below in the comment section as well as the description section. We'll film that and we'll show you what it looks like resting on our brand new assembled stand. We are now inside, and there it is. The 1995 Sea-Doo XP has been transitioned off that trailer and onto the stand. It is heavy duty and one of the best ones out there. And transitioning the jet ski from the trailer onto that stand is very friendly because the height of that stand basically matches up perfect with the height of the trailer when it's hooked up to the hitch on your vehicle. And at that point, you just slide it off. So again, there it is. And at this point, we're going to wrap this video up. From here, do us a favor. Below the video, you will see that thumbs up icon. Click on that, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Definitely ring your YouTube bell. That would be very helpful to us. We would really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching. Now to an update. I have pushed and tucked the jet ski away in the corner as shown here, and DIYers, let me be honest with you, the wheels on this stand are incredible. I was able to pull and push this jet ski with one arm and one hand. And this is not one of the heavier jet skis. It's only about 500 pounds, but again, very easy to move all by yourself. In regards to the wheel locks, I've already got the starboard side locked, and you can do this by foot or hand. If you do it by hand, just be careful not to pinch your hand right here and basically push it down as shown there.